Imagine a bank, a financial institution so powerful it holds billions in deposits, operates across every continent, and influences global real estate prices. Now, imagine this bank doesn't have a single vault, no armed guards, and no banking license. You know this place. You walk past it every morning. You might even be holding its currency in your hand right now. This is the story of Starbucks, a company that mastered the art of selling coffee to hide the fact that they are running one of the most sophisticated shadow banks in human history. To understand the scale, we have to look at the numbers. In the traditional banking world, when you deposit money, the bank owes you. They pay you a small percentage of interest for the right to use your capital. But Starbucks flipped the script. Through the Starbucks Rewards app, customers have deposited over $1.6 billion. Think about that. That is more cash than 85% of all FDIC-insured banks in the United States. If Starbucks were a standalone bank, it would be a mid-sized financial titan. But unlike JP Morgan or Goldman Sachs, Starbucks doesn't pay you a dime in interest. In fact, you are giving them an interest-free loan to fund their global expansion. You are the investor, but they keep all the dividends. They've essentially created a private currency. A star at Starbucks has a more stable value in the eyes of their loyalists than the Argentine peso or the Turkish lira. By locking your money into their digital ecosystem, they've ensured that your wealth can only be redistributed back to them. It is a closed-loop economy where the house always wins. But the genius, or perhaps the darkness of this system, lies in what happens to the money you don't spend. In accounting, there's a term called breakage. It refers to the value on gift cards or apps that is never redeemed. Maybe it's a forgotten $2 balance or a gift card lost in a drawer. To you, it's a rounding error. To Starbucks, it's a gold mine. In a single year, Starbucks claimed nearly $160 million in breakage revenue. Let that sink in. They made $160 million for doing absolutely nothing. No beans were roasted, no milk was steamed, and no labor was used. It is pure 100% margin profit extracted from the forgetfulness of the masses. In most countries, banks are heavily regulated. They have to keep a certain amount of cash in reserve. They have to follow strict anti-money laundering laws. But because Starbucks is technically selling coffee, they bypass many of these financial regulations. They are operating a multi-billion-dollar financial funnel under the guise of a retail store. It is the ultimate legal loophole, designed by the world's best corporate lawyers to maximize float, the time between when they get your money and when they actually have to provide a service for it. Now, why do they need this endless supply of interest-free cash? To feed the beast of real estate. Starbucks is not a coffee company, it is a real estate predator. Their strategy is known as market saturation or cannibalization. Have you ever seen two Starbucks stores on the same street, or even across from each other? It seems like bad business, right? Wrong. Starbucks is willing to let one store lose money if it means they can occupy the most strategic corner in the neighborhood. By taking up all the prime real estate, they ensure that no local competitor can ever afford the rent. They aren't just opening stores, they are building a moat around the city's commerce. They use their massive data and cash reserves to outbid local cafes by 20% or 30%. Landlords love them because they are a AAA tenant. Once the local competition is starved out and forced to close, Starbucks becomes the only player left. They don't just sell coffee, they control the foot traffic of the entire street. They are a landlord that uses lattes to pay the mortgage on the most expensive soil on Earth. For decades, Starbucks marketed itself as the third place, the space between work and home. They gave you free Wi-Fi, comfortable couches, and soft lighting. They made you feel like you were part of a sophisticated global community. But this was the ultimate psychological bait. They weren't selling a seat, they were selling an addiction. By making the store feel like a public commons, they normalized the $6 coffee. They conditioned an entire generation to believe that spending $2,000 a year on bean water was a necessity, not a luxury. But look closely at the new stores opening today. The couches are gone. The Wi-Fi is slower. The third place is dead. Now that they own your habits and your data, they don't need to be your living room anymore. They are pivoting to pick-up-only kiosks and drive-thrus. They have successfully transitioned from a hospitality company to a high-speed transaction hub. They used the cozy cafe image to secure the real estate, and now they are stripping away the comfort to maximize the number of transactions per hour. It's cold, it's calculated, and it's working. The final piece of the puzzle is Deep Brew. This is Starbucks' proprietary AI. It doesn't just suggest drinks, it predicts human behavior. It knows the weather in your zip code, your past purchase history, and even your current location. If you haven't visited in 3 days, it triggers a limited time offer, exactly when your energy levels are lowest. They have gamified consumption. The stars in your app are digital gold coins in a casino where the house never loses. They aren't just tracking your coffee, they are mapping the financial psyche of the global consumer. As we stand in 2026, Starbucks is more than a brand. It is a sovereign financial entity. With their move into digital payments and global real estate, they are becoming more influential than traditional banks. The next time you walk into that store and hear the hiss of the espresso machine, remember, you aren't just a customer. You are a depositor. You are a data point. And you are a tiny cog in a multi-billion-dollar machine that doesn't just want your change, it wants your loyalty, your data, and your future. The siren is calling. The question is, can you afford to listen? Thanks for watching Blueprint Noir. If you want to unmask the giants that run our world, subscribe and hit the bell. The coffee might be cold, but the truth is just getting started.